Greetings everybody, Richard Filmy and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles. So I did this video tonight instead of tomorrow morning when I was going to do it because I've just finished listening to another two jazz rock fusion albums and it's sort of fresh in my mind, so I thought let me do the video. So the two I'm going to chat about tonight, or this time around, is one from the band Weather Report called Mr. Gone. And that's an album that I was after for so many years. I struggled to find it. Eventually I got hold of it at a vinyl fair here in Cape Town. And really glad I got that because I first heard it many years prior to that at a friend's place who was a bass player. And it just blew me away. And I could never find it. I mean, I had it on my hard drive, but I really wanted a physical copy. So like I said, I eventually got it. So this is the album I'm talking about, Mr. Gone from Weather Report, and this is a 1978 release. They caught a bit of flack for this album because they said it was a bit too electronic, and there's a track on here, in fact the second track on side one, River People, which is written by Jaco Pastorius, who's the bass player, and that's another reason why I wanted this, because I'm a huge Jaco Pastorius fan. And that track's almost like disco. I think it's the closest that Weather Report ever got to being a disco band. But the rest of this is just classy, more on the jazz as opposed to the rock side of things, if you're looking at fusion in that way. But great album, well produced by Joseph Zawinul. He, of course, is the main guy in Weather Report, played all the keyboards and the synths and everything else. And co-produced by Jaco Pastorius, so he was involved with the production as well as being this incredibly talented bass player. Sadly, he's no longer around. Side one opens with The Pursuit of the Woman with the Feathered Hat, which I just love. I love the synth work on this album and some of the keyboard stuff. It's just very different. Then you get River People, the track I spoke about, Young and Fine, and The Elders. So that makes up side one. Then you get to side two, Mr. Gone, the title track, and my favorite track after that, Punk Jazz, which starts off with this unbelievable bit of bass work from Jaco Pastorius. I don't know what he's doing, and it's all over the place. That's why it's called Punk Jazz. Just that very beginning of the track. Then it slows down, and he goes into this fretless bass work, which is just beautiful, gorgeous stuff. So that's Punk Jazz. Then you get Pinocchio and the last track called And Then. It's not for everybody, granted. Some of it's a bit out there. The musicianship obviously is just stunning. It was the 8th studio album and released, like I said, in 1978. Joe Zawinul on keyboards and synths and everything else. Wayne Shorter on all saxes and vocals, so he did the alto sax, the tenor sax, all the rest of it. I think he recently passed away as well. Jaco Pastorius on bass, percussion, and vocals, and Peter Erskine on drums. And there were some guest drummers, Steve Gadd on drums, Tony Williams on drums, and a lady by the name of Denise Williams on vocals. Yeah, I need to get some more Weather Report. This, in fact, is the only one I have on vinyl or any physical copy of. But it's really worth checking out, if for nothing else, Jaco Pastorius. So that's Weather Report. The second one I want to chat about is a sort of a sequel to the band's previous incarnation, which was the band Colosseum. This is Colosseum 2. Colosseum, the band before, also had the same drummer as this band, John Heisman. He was one of the founding members of Colosseum. But that band was very different to this. They were more, they were also jazz rock, but they had a lot more brass work, lots of saxophone and all the rest of it. This was more guitar orientated, and I'll tell you why in a sec. And it also just shows what a versatile player this guy was. This band had Gary Moore on guitar. Yes, the Gary Moore from Still Got the Blues and Thin Lizzy and a whole lot of metal albums that he released, this was him doing his jazz rock fusion thing and doing it well. I mean, Gary Moore was just so talented. So he was here on guitar. He also did a bit of vocals, acoustic guitar as well. Don Airey, there's another name that you should recognize. Played with just about everybody from Ozzy to Sabbath. Currently with Deep Purple. He's been with them for many years. Played in this band as well. So he was there on Fender Rhodes, piano. Excuse me, I just need to wet my whistle. Cheers, everybody. Mini Moog, Hammond organ, clavinet, tubular bells, you name it, everything but the kitchen sink. A guy by the name of John Mole on Fender Hyman bass guitars and Ampeg amps. And then John Heisman on drums, paste cymbals, gongs, all the rest of it. This is seriously, if you're into Gary Moore and you want to hear him do something different, some of his runs are just, and this is early, this is 1977. So this was around the time I think Thin Lizzy were busy with Jailbreak, I think, their big album. Of course, Gary Moore would go back to Thin Lizzy. He was with them prior to this. But this is him doing his jazz rock fusion stuff. Side 1, Wardance, Major Keys, Put It That Way, and Castles. Castles is the last track on that side. So there's only four tracks on that side, on side 1. And Castles is where Gary Moore sings. Now, you know, Gary Moore was an incredible musician, not the best vocalist. And in that song, you can see he's struggling a bit. You know, it's not quite hitting the notes. So that's Castles. Then on side 2, Fighting Talk and the Inquisition. Now, the Inquisition is just stupendous. The drumming of John Heisman. This guy doesn't get enough credit. I mean, his drumming is just out of this world. He had a very unique style as well, very busy, and the speed of this track and the guitar and the bass are keeping up with him. That's the other thing about it. It's just unbelievable. Then it's Star Maiden, Misterioso, Quasar. Oh, by the way, in the Inquisition, the previous track, there's also some really nice acoustic guitar from Gary Moore. So he sort of mixes it up with the electric and the acoustic. Star Maiden, Misterioso, Quasar, and then Last Exit is the last track. And that's 3 minutes long. So there's only 8 tracks on the whole album, but it's really worth checking out. They made 3 albums in all, and then that was it. I'm trying to remember. Electric Savage was the other one, and Strange New Flesh. And I had all 3 on vinyl. I have no idea what happened to the other 2. In fact, I lost all 3, and I found this again as I said, at one of those vinyl fairs that I go to regularly. What else can I tell you here? Released in 77. That's about it, really. Recording, produced by John Heisman. So, yeah, he was the main guy in the original band Colosseum as well as Colosseum 2. Some of their stuff is available on YouTube. There's some great, I think there's a full concert. Not the best picture quality, but if you go onto YouTube and type in Colosseum 2, you should get to that. So there we go, another 2 jazz rock fusion albums, and I think that's where we're going to leave it for the moment. I might come back to it at a later stage. I don't really have much more to show you in that line. I don't have the world's biggest jazz rock fusion collection. But yeah, we'll see next time. We'll go into something else. I might also be doing a listening room video soon, just to show you guys what I've been listening to the last month or so. Take it easy out there, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.